Hi guys, so today's walk is about 10 miles, just over, from the car park on the Snake Pass Road, just past the Snake Inn, or where Snake Inn used to be. I think it's a private residence now. Up over to look at a couple of wrecks. The first one is a Liberator Wreck on Mill Hill, or just past Mill Hill. And then the second is the Sabre Wreck, just off the Kinder Plateau, off the edge of the Northern Rim Path. So I'll just take you through a quick 3D walk through of the walk, and then we'll get stuck into the video. Okay, so we start off at the car park on the Snake Pass Road, which most of you are probably quite familiar with. We come through the Snake Woodlands, and then we take a right onto the Snake Path. We follow that all the way along there, about 3.7 miles of ascent, climbing about 700 foot. Some cracking views over to the left of the Kinder Edge Plateau. You can see them there. Just as you get to this point, you could take a left here, and there are some elements of the wreckage, but I'll put links to that in the description. That's a Sabre Wreck there. When you get to Mill Hill, you turn right, and you go down and drop down the hill to the Liberator Wreck. You then come back up to Mill Hill, up to the edge. It's quite a steep climb there, and then just to follow that path there, the Sabre Wreck's to your left. Then back up onto the edge. We follow the edge all the way along, some great rock formations and the like there, stunning views over to Bleaklow and over towards the edges in the distance, Derwent Edge. Then we get to Fairbrook Naze. We then drop down Fairbrook, which is quite a steep ascent at the start, so a bit almost like a scramble. You are literally dropping, I would say, a good 800 foot at least, over a fairly short distance of about a mile. We then come back through onto the Snake Pass Road. Now there is a path here that runs through the Snake Woodland, but it was all been felled, the trees had, so I ended up walking back up the Snake Pass Road. Not ideal, because it's quite dark when I got back, but I put my head torch on. There was a bit of a verge at the side of the road, and that's what I did. And there you can see the entire route, start to finish. So a really nice circular walk. 16 kilometres, 10.1 miles, 4.5 hours. And 363 metres of ascent. Well worth doing, highly recommended, and not so busy. So that's a route that I've done today, and then now we'll crack on and get onto the walk itself. Right guys, today we're off up to Kinder Scout, to a couple of wrecks, the two Sabres and the Liberator. Last time I did this walk was 37 years ago, with an old mate of mine who passed away recently, so that's the idea of today's walk. Get up and hopefully find the wrecks, find the full wreck. Last time I went we only found one part of it, so that's the plan today. And then to, you know, remember my mate and do a bit of a memorial up at the wreck site. At the moment we're just walking through from the car park into the Snake Woodland. I'm glad I put my gaiters on today, because if it's just muddy down here I'd dread to think what it's like on the top. Can be a bit boggy up there, and I guess the aircraft want to land on a nice path. I think there's one bit just off to the left of the Snake Path, if I remember. I think that's the one that me and my friends, when we were just 18, walked over to. There's obviously a bigger debris site, and also just off Mill Hill is the B24 Liberator crash site as well. So while we're here we'll get both of those in. For the time being we'll walk along this beautiful little brook. I'll find out what that's called. I bet that'd be midgy hell in summer. The easiest place I've ever lived is Kinloch Leaving on the west coast of Scotland. I think I lasted about 12 months there before we moved, because of all the midges. It was just horrendous in summer. Anytime you could go out, as if it was absolutely lashing it down or blowing a hoolie. So anyway, I'll catch up with you when we're on the Snake Path. Quite a long ascent up to the top there along the Snake Path. Not a huge amount of ascent today, about just over 1,000 foot, but it's quite a steady climb to Mill Hill, then across, and then down Fairbrook Naze, which is quite steep. So we'll see what that looks like when we get there. And be a nice waterfall there as well. Alright, so catch up with you shortly while I navigate through this quagmire. I think we'll avoid that and go through that. We're just going to join the Snake Path down the bottom of this little bit here.
over this little bridge. Oh, that's a bit rickety. Look at that. That's the way you come up here. Quite a variation in scenery, and that's why I love the Dark Peak. My favourite place to be. So, I just said previously, just clocking down onto the Snake Path. For whatever reason, Outdoor Active's gone to give me the audio description yet. I've not switched that on. It's just being quite annoying, so I'm going to see what I can do to turn that off. I'll catch up with you shortly. So, sorted that out. A little speaker at the top corner of the screen. Always bloody something obvious. So we're up here now on the Snake Path. Going first of all to the Liberator site, and then on Mill Hill, or just past Mill Hill, and then we're going to come along down to the main one, which is the Sabre Wreck. We will see some of that on the way up before we get to Mill Hill. So that happened in, if I correct me if I'm wrong, but I put some information up, 1954. 2 Sabres were flying as part of a formation. I think there were at least 3, and there's various conjecture. The official sort of guideline, I think, is that they failed to hear a radio transmission about elevating to a bit higher, and therefore were at the wrong height. Others say that the lead pilot had to pull up quite sharply. It was quite cloudy, so he thought he'd found a clear spot. It wasn't, and he pulled up sharply. The other one had to do the same. They lost sight of each other, and hence a crash. Now, whichever it was, sadly both planes crashed, and pilots died. They weren't found till the next day when a hiker was coming out for the day and spotted something white in the distance. Wonder what it might be, sheep or who knows what, and it was actually a parachute. Hadn't opened properly of one of the guys. And obviously from that they rescued and retrieved the bodies, etc. No one heard the crash. Apparently a local farmer was out, because it was quite early in the morning, I think. He heard the planes fly over quite low, but didn't hear a crash, hence nobody really did anything till the next day. Very sad, but I'll put a link up to the book. There's a lot of wrecks up here. I can't remember the number now. It's a lot in the Dark Peak and the High Peak. I've been to a few of them in my time. The B29's a famous one, and then also there's one where I used to live near Wild Boar Clough, which again I think was a super fortress wreck. 6 people died there. I probably won't film the B29 at the moment. It's just absolute crazy with Instagram and TikTokers up there, because it's so easy to get to. A bit like Mantor really. But these are a bit more off the beaten path. This Sabre Wreck's just off the North Rim path of Kinder Scout. Well, it should be fairly easy to find. I've got the grid references mapped out, etc, etc. Someone I know, an Instagrammer, he's got a route that does about 5 of them, so I'll find out what that is and maybe do that one day. But for now, this is in memory of a good friend of mine, Paul Jackson, who sadly died last year at 53. So it's a bit of a memorial for him, because we did this route together, and like I said before, we were both 18, so it's retreading the steps of our misspent youth. I think he ended up waiting in the Snake Pass for us, because he injured his ankle and ended up a little bit drunk, if I remember rightly. Anyway, we're heading off up here. I'll probably get you next if I see some good views, or we get to the first bit of wreckage. Absolutely gorgeous. Clear that water is. Looks like someone's been wild camping here. Some by them rocks. This would be a perfect camping spot, wouldn't it? By that brook there, water, flat surface, cracking. Anyway, onwards and upwards. Bit of an old broken sort of millstone there. Quite a small one, but definitely one. The brook's down there. We're just heading up into this woodland and following the path. So yeah, we'll keep on keeping on. Here we are, Black Ashop Moor. Keep an eye out for the owls and the other birds. There we go. So that's where the crash is up there. We're following, you can see the path going that way. Keep an eye out for short-eared owls, curlews, skylarks and plovers. And as you'll see everywhere, I've seen banners. No barbecues, no fires. The camping, go on. If you leave no trace, for me, you know, we should all be allowed to camp here, but like they do in Scotland and other places. It's only the rich English on there. Lovely clough there, lovely waterfall, should I say, coming down there. Beautiful. I should take a picture of that. But we're going to head up there now. I'll probably catch up to you, hopefully, when we get to the first bit of wreckage, because I think that's along this path. But as always, I'll probably see something more interesting before then. Just look at that landscape there, the Kinder northern edge there, and this Black Ashford Moor. There's a bit of a building over there in the distance. I'll look at that when we get closer, like a shepherd's hut or shooting hut or something. But look at that escarpment there. I think I'll have to get the better camera out and do that. Bit of a quick video. Something like that. A bit of a shit against pedestrian up here though. Yeah, the path goes past it. But yeah, remnants of a little shepherd's hut probably, or shooting. But I'll take a close-up picture. You can see like there's like a table, hearth and seats in there, and that bridge there. But we're going up there, across that edge. I think the wreck's down the side of that somewhere. So it's whether we can. I think it's a bit further up where it's a bit easier to get down to, hopefully. So I'm going to plan to go along here, along the top, drop down, back up again. So yeah, catch up with you later. As I was saying earlier, always look behind you. Look at that, absolutely stunning. We're heading up towards Mill Hill, just up to there to the right. And then I think the first bit of wreckage and the wreckage site is just over to the left over there, past that gully. So hopefully not much further and we'll be there. Nice steady ascent that, the Snake Pass. Not really out of breath. I think it's about 1,000 foot of ascent, maybe a bit less, over quite a few miles. So a couple of bits we have to clamber up, but nothing major. So yeah, quite a nice change from the last few walks I've been on. Just love these little brooks. Got another ideal campsite there if you're wild camping. We're heading up here now. We'll be going up there in a bit. And look at that. What a view. I'll find out what those hills are, put them on the video. Goes that way to Edo. This way to Bleak Low. So head up to Mill Hill quickly now. Get a bit of a move on because it's going to be a bit tight for time now. And then you can see Mill Hill there. There's just a path over the other side. Depending on where it goes to the right. And we'll go to the left down to this wreckage site hopefully. So wonder if that path there goes to the wreck. You know. Anyway, we'll see where we get on. If nothing else, we'll get some video of it. So, here we are, come up to the top of Mill Hill. People putting little cairnstones up as seems to be the trend these days. Wow, we're going to take this path straight on. Depending on where he goes that way, I think. And yeah, looking over towards Black Hill, Bleaklow's over there as well, Manchester, and yeah, way up on the North Rim in a bit. Beautiful. So, first wreck of the day. This is the B24 Liberator. I will find out some information, get some pictures. Just wander through here. It looks like a bit of a. You can get down here, I think, into the gully without breaking your neck, hopefully. Yeah. Okay. So you can see this is the debris side where I'm assuming it came in from that direction. Some landing gear or something there, gearbox maybe, I don't know. I should know. I'm a fucking aerospace engineer. Wing sections and fuselage here. So sad, innit? But like I say, I will find out a bit more history on it. But we found the first one. The grid reference was bang on, fairly simple to find. It was off the path. There are a few up here. Guy just told me there's one of a biplane up here. It's quite hard to find. But yeah, you can see the debris here. These look like fuselage or wing sections, I suspect. That's all that's left. But you can see the impact crater here. Wow. I'll find out how many souls were lost. Sad it is. But there you go. Lovely views as well. Again, assuming they got the height wrong or maybe had a mechanical failure or something. But yeah. Cool, we're going to head back up to Mill Hill now. And then on to Seal Stones I think it's called. The northern edge there, and then hopefully find these Sabre Wrecks. I did notice a fence, so I'm not sure how close we'll get to it. Back up Raven over there, and then we're heading over that way. Might actually have a snap sat up on the edges, that'd be far more interesting. Just going to get a picture here because this is quite a good Panam way, goes off up to the right along the edge to Kinder Downfalls in that gully over there. We're headed over this ridge here. That's bloody steep. We've come off from over there and we're headed up here over to the left. There is a fence, so I'm not sure if I can drop down to the wreck from here. If we can't, I'll see if I can get some close-up videos, and then when the weather's not so wet, you put the crow from the Snake Pass, I think, or possibly across from here. But we'll crack on with the planned route. Wow, up on the northern edge now. It's just fenced off down there, so we'll see if we can drop over. Cool rock formations there. That's the Pennine Way. We'll head over this way. I'm going to grab a drink once we drop out the window a little bit, and then we're going to follow the path across the northern edge over to Fairbrook Naze down there, and then yeah, see how we go from there. See you soon. That's why the fence is up. Keep the sheep off. I'll have a quick wander over the edge, see if I can see the wreck site, and then we'll go from there. And there I'll put a picture. There's a bit of wreckage definitely there, like a hub. I think that's the one I went to years ago. You can see it's quite a bit off a Snake Pass across quite a bit of rough terrain. So that's why I didn't find that one. It was a bit closer to the path than it was. But I'll took a picture, I'll zoom in. Should be able to zoom in because I'm using raw files. So I should be able to zoom in on that. But you can see that glinting from here. It's just about there. But I'll zoom in, do that. Ah, here we are. Right, haha. A bit of wreckage here. Not a huge amount, but that is definitely a panel of some description. So we're definitely in the right area now, which I'm relieved about. There's a bit there. I can't see any further up the hill, but that's a piece of it. So I'm relieved in that sense. So I can hear a helicopter in the distance. Yep, helicopter over Bleaklow. But some twats fucking fell over and hurt themselves in the flip-flops. So I'm going to keep a close eye out now, because that's bang on the path. Getting excited now. I'll catch up with you in a bit. I need to just, my battery's a bit low on my normal camera, so I want to conserve that for when I find a bit more wreckage. Hopefully find more than that. Okay, see you soon. Really close. Over Kinder. Must be searching for somebody, I think. I was hoping they might come over the horizon. Let's just look. But there's a big debris field down there. I took some pictures of it. Oh, there we go. Circling round. Clearly circling. They came over from Bleaklow and went round a big loop, and they're coming round again. I'll get the other camera. I've just got to keep taking pictures. That is stunning. We're going no wrong here. Absolutely beautiful, and not a soul. I bet I've seen 4 people today. Saw a couple of women who must have been in their 70s doing the Pennine Way all loaded up. Fair play to them. Hey, I can do that at their age. So let's carry on. Should get some really good views from up here later on. So I'll catch up with you in a bit. Cool rocks there. Take a picture of that. We're gonna have to get a move on now. Taking too long there with me drinking, messaging people and taking pictures. So we need to get a move on. So I probably won't be on as much now. I'll catch up with you when I get to Fairbrook Naze. Well, there they are, circling round. Coastguard, it says. I've seen they use them when they need help. And that's circling around here. Clearly looking for somebody. It's not me. Anyway, crack on. Lovely light over there. So we've all been burning the peat, the heather, sorry. Glorious. Great day to be alive. The helicopter's disappeared now, so I'm guessing they've either given up or they found what they were looking for or finished the training exercise. Right, look at that. The Kinder Escarpment in all its glory. Fantastic place, and not a soul out here on this northern edge, as opposed to Kinder Low, Kinder Downfall, Jacob's Ladder, Grinlow. They all get very busy, even in this time of year. Up here, not a soul to be seen, just the way I like it. Look at the sun just catching those rocks. Fantastic. Beautiful. Yeah, some of these gullies are just impressive to say the least. Fantastic. We're going along the edge here. Bit of a windy path, so I'm going to turn the camera off because you don't want to go down that fucker. That's for certain. Stunning. This is why you come out, mate. See countryside like that. You don't need to go abroad. You don't need to leave bloody Derbyshire to get stunning scenery. That'll that's as good as anything you'll see in the lakes. Here it comes again. Helicopter. I think that's the path we're going down there, but yeah, oh, that's just amazing. Look at the sunlight over on the edges, absolutely beautiful. I'm definitely going to do the Kinder Circular this year, I think, because that is just going to be a stunning walk all along here. So that's my aim. I think it's about 18.5 miles. We're going to go over there now and drop down this path. See you shortly. Yeah, just over there I think. Takes us all the way down there to the road. That looks like it could be interesting in parts. But hey ho, let's crack on. Some stunning paths. You're not far off the edge here either. Look, won't take much for you to end up on your arse. Sun's setting over there. Back on the tops and the wind's picking up. Descent over there, so it's been a bit dark when we get to the bottom, but we'll see. Here we go, there's the fall. This looks a bit interesting, bit of a scramble to start off with. We'll follow this down pretty much to the Snake Pass Road, so it's going to get a bit dark now. I really need to focus my attention. I'll get the odd snap as I go down hopefully, and see you at the bottom. So you can see there, path winds its way down. It's a really cool path this. Gotta say, impressed. Impressed I'm getting down it without breaking my ankle as well, because it's a bit rocky in parts, but beautiful. Must be the best walks and one of the maybe the better kept secrets of the Kinderscarp Plateau, the northern edge. Most people tend to do Jacob's Ladder, Kinder Downfall, like I said before, Kinder Low, Pennine Way. Yet this edge, for me, absolutely stunning. Probably even better. Anyway, keep that to yourselves. Don't put it on YouTube. All you see is little waterfalls coming down. Cool. Well, it's really dropping now, so let's keep moving. As I always say, look back where you've come from. That was a hell of a descent. I think it gets a bit easier now, so I might have to pick up a bit of a pace and see if I can find a way. At the moment the path takes me up the Snake Pass Road a little bit. I had to park a bit further up than I planned to, so I didn't really fancy walking up that road. It's starting to get dark, but I think there's a path through the woods on the old Roman road, I think. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Yeah, that's one hell of a descent, that. My missus wouldn't have liked that. Every one of them steps have been like hell of steps for her, since she's only 5 foot. But it was a bit leery in places for me, and I'm 6 foot, George just under. But yeah, starting to get that golden glow now as the sun's dropping. Look into the escarpment there. And like as you can see now, a bit more of a normal path. The old boulder in the way, but that scramble's done and dusted. I think I'd sooner be going down than up that thing, to be honest with you. that's for sure. Tree here. Somehow survived in that little nook and cranny because there's no other trees anywhere else. Fantastic. That's nature at its best. We're going to crack on down there. Cool effect in the clouds there. There might be a bit of change in the weather coming. The wind's picking up a bit. Look at the afterglow. Looks even better on the camera. But yeah, it might rain shortly, I think. So we've got about 1.5 miles to go. Let's keep on going. Sun's almost gone down now. I'm pretty much at the road now. So I'll do a wrap up now, because by the time I get back to the older car, I've got a little bit further to go along the road. Quite mundane. So yeah, good walk. Showing about the Sabre Wrecks and that sheep fencing. I got some pictures from a distance. We found a bit of a panel just below the edge there. But a beautiful walk. We've got the Liberator Wreck in. So yeah, fantastic walk, and I did that walk in memory of my friend Paul, who we used to come out here all the time. So some very fond memories. That's one of the first walks we did together. So yeah, rest in peace, Paul. I hope you're giving him hell up there in heaven for one of the best.